You are welcome to another edition of Egbosa Insight. Today, I'll be talking about a topic called a kingdom earth. Earth as a kingdom. In my belief system, a fundamental thing I know is settled is the formation of the earth. I strongly believe that earth came into existence through a deliberate conceptual creation by an invisible being called God, who dwells in the heavens. If the creator of heaven and earth, why does it need to create an earth if it doesn't live here? Reasons based on my understanding is the kingdom sphere influence, the heavenly sphere influence. He created earth to extend his heavenly kingdom sphere to earth. That's what I call the colony mindset. Those of us from who have lived in a colonial empire will understand this. That a colony is a place or a state or country that is being fully or partially controlled by another country. So that is the essence of God creating earth. He wanted to create an earth with humans, with another being called humans, with a physical body. It is spiritual bodies, that beings that lives in heavens. If they live on earth, they have to have a body, but they will be under his sphere of influence, obedience to his rules and regulations. That was his essence. So if we are to live under his rule and regulation, by so doing, the activities of the lifestyle, the mindset of those in heaven will also be the mindset of those on earth. We know those of us, when we were living in a colonial empire days, when they were being colonized, we found that the influence of British Empire was in our country. We do the things as it is done in Britain, because their sphere of influence of the British Empire is what we're feeling in Nigeria. As the colony mindset, no wonder we know that God created man in his image. It is that concept, that is why he said in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 2, he said, after God has created heaven and earth, he said in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. He said, but the earth was without form and void. So he has to start putting things there to see that it was a deliberate creation, formation. There's a concept he put in place. And then he put man there. Then chapter 1, verse 26 and 28 says, let's make man in our own image of God. So you can now understand why we even practice colony on earth today. Because it is in the likeness of God to control the activities of our activities here on earth. It's that same likeness that initiated man to say, yes, the mindset is there. However, when he created man, he didn't intend man should dominate another man. He said, but man should live and dominate his environment. The things that he put in place, said they should multiply and subdue their environment. Multiply, which means he wants man to be able to be creative. Use the things he put on earth to be creative, to the fulfillment of his glory. So that's what I've shown to us, that it is also his likeness, the creativity in man. It's because God is creative, because this world, it's very complex. Sometimes we can't understand. And sometimes that's why scientists that certain things in existence. They cannot understand the concept of his creation. So, however, man did not live up to the purpose of creation, because God expected man to be obedient to his rules and principles, so that we're able to enjoy his sphere of influence, so that we're able to live in peace, live in harmony. We understand that every product man made today, there's always a functionality to it. When we see an object with a wheel, we understand that it is meant to be movable. The functionality concept keeps us understand that that's the purpose of making this product. And there has to be a manual to teach how this product had to be used to obtain the optimal value, utility, benefit from that product. That's what God was expecting from man, to obey in order to achieve the subduing and creative prowess he has deposited in man. But when man failed, he did not just forget about his plans for earth, because he already, it's a definite thing. It was definitely conceived, and he did it for him. Then he decided to wipe out some people and keep Noah, who was obedient with him. Everything that were not inside, everything that was out there were outside Noah's ark was destroyed by flood. So God wanted to see that Noah will continue his purpose on earth. His influence will continue with Noah. However, with time, people that lived about 350 years later, the obedience continued. Hence, God raised up Abraham. He took him to that place. He wanted to set him aside so that he will be obedient to him. His sphere of influence. That's his purpose. Humanity had to understand, be obedient to him. He wanted to be fair on earth. And make Abraham multiply his offspring to were great in numbers. But with time too, they're living like days of the Noahs. They're disobeying God and not following the principles of him. The book of Genesis chapter 49 verse 10, it was there he said, the scepter will not depart from the tribe of Judah. That is God still mean that the scepter is the authority, staff of authority, that do not depart from him, because he already established them. To know that God really made this earth to be lived permanently on earth, indefinitely, eternally. If you look at the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 18, God himself, he said that God formed the earth, and he made it, he established it. He created it not in vain. He created it to be inhabited forever. That was the purpose of creation. Isaiah 45, verse 18. He said he did not create the earth in vain. He could only want to be inhabited by humans and other things. So, since God, that is the purpose of God, he wanted to be lived by man, so he wanted to fulfill that purpose of creation. That is obedience of man to his rules. That is what will make man attain the purpose of creation. You see, even the days of Israel, they did not honor God. They departed from his way. They chose a king, because at the beginning they didn't want to have a king, because he wanted to reign over them. He put judges in charge of their affairs to guide them with his principles. Prophets who act as judges. But at the time, in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 4 to 7, they wanted another king. They wanted an early king to reign over them like other kings on the earth. But Samuel was not pleased with them. But God asked him, yes, please make them a king. That it is not you they rejected, it is me. It is him they rejected. So that's how they had a king. But the eternal purpose of creation, God never forget it. That's why he talked about the Messiah coming to come and redeem mankind. If you look at the book of Matthew, chapter 3, John came. When we were expecting the Messiah to come, he said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Which means the sphere of the heavenly kingdom is going to be fed on earth soon. What happened? Even when Christ came, he said that same kingdom concept he preached about. He even told his followers to pray for the coming of the kingdom of heaven. Then he even told them that the kingdom of heaven is here. Is here. Which means the sphere and influence of heaven principles, that's what is going to take place on earth. That's what he was teaching them. He always said, the kingdom of heaven is here. When they asked him, how do you come into the kingdom of God? He said, One, love your God with all your might, with all your heart, with all everything you have. That's the first principle. The second one, he said, love your neighbor as yourself. Above this, there's other principles. Of course, how can you love God if you don't love your human beings, your fellow humans? So if you don't love every human being, that means you are fulfilling the purpose of God. How can you love? Because we understand that what are the content of love? The love says it has patience. Love is kind. Love is not envious. Love is humble. Love is respectful. Love makes sacrifice. Love is not selfish. It's righteous. If you are able to love your neighbor as yourself, of course, you gain the purpose of God's creation. Because in Galatians chapter 5, verse 14, he said, to fulfill this one, he said, love your neighbor as yourself. In Mark chapter 12, verse 31, say love is being, or love, to get God's kingdom, you must also love your neighbor. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1 or 2, he said, keep loving one another. John chapter 13, verse 34, and Romans chapter 13, verse 9, he said, a new command I give you, love one another. So these are the attributes. So when you love one another, you by so doing, you'll be pleasing God. So by so doing, the sphere of kingdom influence, heavenly influence, will be on earth. That means the purpose of creation on earth, man will not be able to live in peace among itself. That is the purpose of it. Because if you look at the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 1 to 4, say he's going to make up a new heaven on the earth. Say the former one will pass away, where people wickedness will be there. We were in love with one another. Say by so doing, his purpose of creation is met, of man's place will be met. By then, you extend. That is how the heavenly kingdom is set on earth. That's why a sphere of God's influence could be on earth. That is the chronic concept. That is the heavenly mentality. So the kingdom concept, the earthly kingdom. So with that, God's kingdom will be on earth. Earth will be perpetually inhabited. That is the kingdom concept. That is the chronic concept. That is the heavenly concept. That is the kingdom of heaven concept. For man to be able to live in harmony, in peace. And that is when you're able to do this now, you are fulfilling the manufacturer's instruction, like a product. Because when man does not love himself, they is breaking the manufacturer's instruction. If a product is misused, the product will what? It will malfunction. That's what will happen. God gave us these principles. When we love ourselves, we're able to live in harmony with ourselves. By so doing, we are fulfilling the Creator's instruction, who is the manufacturer of the earth, and us, will be doing His way. By so doing, there will be productivity on earth. There will be unity and harmony among man. By so doing, you see that the sphere of the kingdom of heaven is on earth, and earth will be a kingdom ruled by man, but governed by God from heaven, and Christ is son with other angels. Thank you very much. I hope there's understanding in this discussion. God bless you.